Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. I am 2 weeks into the carnivore diet. I have officially lost 10 pounds. I feel fantastic. My energy is through the roof. I feel 15 years younger, and this has been 2 weeks. So why in the world would I title this The Mistakes I've Made on Carnivore Diet or How I Blew It on the Carnivore Diet? I don't know what I'm gonna do, but it's something like that. And here's why. I feel like I would have lost another, maybe even 5 pounds had I been a little bit more strict on the diet and also a little bit wiser. Some of the mistakes I made, I just simply didn't do my homework on it. And that is my fault. And I'll tell you about it so you don't make the same mistakes I made. Here's the mistakes I've made. Number one, I was losing 1 pound a day, at least 1 pound a day on a regular basis. And then I had a non-alcoholic beer. Didn't think much of it. I glanced at the sugars on it. I thought it said 1 gram of sugar. I had a couple of these over the last 2 weeks. I went back and looked, and it's 11 grams of sugar in each one of these non-alcoholic beers. And I'm like, oh, that's probably it. Now it's probably a really bad choice for other reasons too. But it's something I need to cut out. It's something I need to be smarter about. Totally my mistake. I love the taste of non-alcoholic beer. The good news is I don't drink alcohol, and I only mean that because I don't have to cut that out. But getting a little bit more used to cutting out some of those things is going to be a little bit tricky for me. I don't have a huge sugar tooth, at least I haven't in the last 2 weeks. That has not been a problem at all. But for some reason, I've been craving those non-alcoholic beers. And maybe that's the sugar craving for me. So I need to see if I can clean that up a little bit. Next one, horseradish. So I was doing a bunch of shredded beef, which I absolutely love doing the crock pot shredded beef. I bought some horseradish and thought, you know what? I'm not gonna do the Jordan Peterson perfect carnivore. I'm gonna be pretty darn close to it. I figured horseradish isn't gonna have sugar, and I looked at a few, bought one, and later looked back, and the second bottle that I bought was a little bit of like a mix one or something like that. And anyway, it had sugar in it. That's a mistake that I shouldn't have made. But it seems to me from the homework I've done, watching YouTube videos, is that we're trying to get our bodies to go from running off of sugars to running off of fat. And hopefully it's the fat that we're ingesting, the butter, the meat fat, but also some of the fat on our bodies, and kind of combining those two and burning those for our fuel. So I would think that it would be very confusing for the body, that it's trying to switch over to fat, you introduce a little bit of sugar, and now the body's in this state of kind of like, hey, what are we burning for fuel? Like, why don't switch back and forth, go one direction type thing. Again, that's a philosophy, and maybe that'll help me in my own mind to really try to do better about cutting out the sugars. Why don't I wrap it up with a couple of my favorite foods and then a couple that I'm surprised I don't like. So carnivore diet, you get to eat meat and kind of any meat you want. The steaks, T-bone steaks, love it. Absolutely love it. And I even splurged a little bit. I say this in my other videos. I set some money aside when I started this. And I thought to myself, I'm going to start off on the right foot and be able to buy the fanciest steaks I want. I mean, kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like, anyway, so I even tried like filet mignon. It wasn't my favorite. And T-bone seems to be the one I really like, even though those are pretty expensive too. What I'm not interested in is I thought I'd be eating like bacon and eggs 2 times a day. No, for some reason, like in the mornings, I have no interest in eggs. I don't know. I just don't have any interest. The steak is what I'm after, and I like it pan fried in butter, which normally I'd like it on the barbecue, but they're telling me you gotta eat a ton of butter, so the pan fried in butter, I'm liking. Even like dipping the steak into butter. I know it sounds ridiculous, but once you get going on this, you'll realize, no, it actually sounds pretty good. It makes you feel great. You feel great. Crock pot, absolutely love. I love shredded meat. So the shredded meat, I am just loving. I've had the crock pot probably going about 6 or 7 times in the last 2 weeks. And it's been a savior for me and really makes it nice too. You know, you can load up the crock pot and have 3 or 4 meals out of it, put it in containers, save it for the next day. What am I not liking about the carnivore diet? I don't have a lot of complaints, so these are gonna be kind of silly. Here's my complaints. I keep getting in trouble. My wife is asking me, hey, if you're gonna do this to the stove every time you cook, you need to come up with a better plan. And every time I cook my steaks, there's like butter splat, fat going everywhere. I don't know. I'm gonna have to work on that one right there. And then maybe the second complaint on the carnivore diet is just, the meals with the family. I end up making my kids different food than I'm eating, and I'm trying to make some extra meat and give it to them. They're still having vegetables and whatever else. So maybe that little disconnect of all of us having the same foods on their plate. Also, having to explain to 3 kids under the age of 15 that I'm not eating vegetables, super weird, right? I mean, all I do is tell them, eat your vegetables, and all of a sudden dad's not eating his vegetables. Kind of weird, kind of taking some adjustment and trying to explain to the kids what I am up to. Hey friends, do me a favor. If you like today's video, subscribe to the channel. Give this video a thumbs up. It would mean a lot to me. Also, please, down in the comments, tell me what I can do to improve my YouTube. I can see that when I look up, my light is shining. That must be annoying and look ridiculous. And I feel like the glasses are struggling with the lens. Also, if you know more than I know on the carnivore diet, or if you have any questions for me on the carnivore diet, put them down below. I'll definitely look at comments, reply to the ones that make sense too. All right, my friends, we'll see you next time.